Imagine a treehouse built entirely by hand, deep in a quiet, peaceful forest. Only materials provided by nature, expertly used tools, and a single person working. Today, we will follow step by step every stage of this incredible structure that rose from scratch. From the foundation to the roof, every detail is meticulously prepared. So, how difficult is it really to build a treehouse? Here, we will witness this unique project that integrates with nature.
Depart.
Before construction begins, all materials are prepared one by one. Quality wooden beams, sturdy connecting screws, supporting steel plates, and water-resistant boards are used to build a sturdy treehouse. It is important to work in a planned manner. That is why everything is prepared in an orderly manner. The measurements are reviewed once again, the boards to be cut are determined, and the necessary tools for the first connection points are prepared. Come to one of the most critical steps, creating the anchor points. The man places a sturdy support bolt into the trunk of the tree. This special bolt will hold the weight of the platform and support the tree in a way that will cause minimal damage. Once the bolt is firmly in place, the platform is ready to be transported.
By installing the bracket at a small angle.
Now it's time to install the support beams that will make the treehouse stand firmly. The man starts to place the thick wooden beams on the strong connection points he just fixed. Since this stage forms the foundation of the entire structure, there should be zero margin for error. The beams have been carefully measured, pre-cut, and made ready for assembly. Now, they are fixed to the tree with sturdy metal fasteners. In this way, the platform becomes much safer by not only supporting the tree trunk, but also by providing a balanced load distribution. This is one of the most critical stages that requires patience. The man tightens each connection point one by one, checking the angles and making additional adjustments to strengthen the entire structure. The adjustable metal supports he uses ensure that the platform not only remains attached to the tree, but also distributes the weight evenly. In this way, the tree will be able to continue to grow without damage over time. As each screw is tightened, the structure becomes a little stronger. Patience and precision work are essential at this stage, because a small mistake can upset the balance of the entire platform. Now we come to one of the most critical parts of the job, the installation of the main support beams that will support the platform. First, the man carefully measures and marks the thick wooden beams. The top of the beam is placed against the main frame of the platform. The man secures the top of the beam tightly to the platform with metal supports. The man makes small adjustments to get the angle of the wooden beam just right. Once the attachment points are seated, the beam is fully secured using long screws and metal plates.
And I like the holes as a design feature. The first cut Of course, the branches should have been cut before making the construction. I tried to construct one from leftover materials.
One of the most important steps in the construction process is to prepare the right wood. The man carefully selects the logs that will carry the structure above. The wood he will use must be strong and durable. Rotten or cracked ones are eliminated, and the most suitable logs are determined. Before moving on to the cutting stage, each piece is measured. Long beams must be prepared for the frame on which the upper structure will sit. The man determines the length of the thick wooden logs and marks the cutting points. The man starts cutting from the points he marked with a powerful saw. He proceeds carefully to cut the logs to the exact size desired. The ends of the logs are straightened and special cuts are made for the connection points. In this way, the pieces are prepared to fit together perfectly. The cut wood is ready to be transported. The man carries the large logs one by one and places them in the appropriate position for assembly. This process takes time because the logs are heavy. However, everything goes according to plan. All the pieces for the upper frame of the structure are now ready.
Now I can...
All the wood is ready to build the upper structure. Now it is time to join them together to create a solid frame. The man first takes the largest log and carefully carries it up. Since the log is heavy, he moves slowly and with control. He checks the points he marked beforehand and adjusts the angle of placement. He first uses temporary supports to set the log in place. This way, the piece remains stable and the assembly process becomes safer. Then, he fixes the first part of the frame with strong metal connections. After the first connections are completed, smaller beams are placed to join the other parts of the structure. Each screwing operation is done carefully to ensure the frame is solid. The man tightens the joints and adds extra supports to prevent the structure from flexing. The upper frame gradually rises and the main form of the treehouse begins to become clear. treehouse has now risen and a sturdy staircase is needed to get in and out of it easily. Adam begins assembling a metal spiral staircase as an aesthetic and durable solution. This type of staircase takes up little space and adds a stylish look to the structure. First, the main support columns of the staircase are fixed in place. Adam measures each step to ensure proper alignment and tightens the joints one by one. The metal frame must be sturdy because this staircase will be used for many years. After the steps are in place, it is time for the railings. Adam installs sturdy metal railings on the sides to make the staircase safer. The railings provide both a solid grip and a modern look to the staircase. The upper platform is complete, and now the walls are being built. Adam carries the wooden panels he had previously cut up and begins assembling the first studs of the frame. This is one of the most important steps in transforming the structure into a real home. First, the corner studs are installed. These will form the main structure that will support the wall panels. Adam carefully aligns each stud and secures it to the platform with metal screws. Then the most important protective layer, the roof, is built. Adam uses waterproof wooden panels and roof support beams to create a structure that will withstand wind and rain.
Be the final roof. The paint has to be removed.
final touches have been completed and the treehouse is now fully livable. Windows have been installed and the interior has been designed to receive natural light. Thanks to the trapezoidal sheet metal installed on the roof, rain and wind will no longer be a problem. Finally, the walls and exterior have been carefully painted to add an aesthetic and protective layer to the structure. This is no longer just a structure, but a peaceful living space in the forest. The man makes his final checks, making sure everything is intact. He climbs up the ladder, looks around, and experiences the joy of having completed a perfect job. This whole process was a journey that required patience, effort, and mastery. Building a treehouse from scratch in nature all by yourself is not easy, but the end result more than pays off for all this effort.